All right, hello YouTube. So today I am going to be doing some coaching. I got about 6 different players and I'll be going over more big things I notice just so I can help as many of you as possible, and these will be on mainly supports. I will add timestamp as well if you want to see a specific character or map. But here we have some Lucio gameplay. So I'm just going to start this up. So first thing, a little bit late I was fine, but that's okay. I'll add what rank this is, by the way. I don't know what rank this is. It said in the message, but I already checked, so. Good amp when people are low. Okay, so one thing I am noticing is that you do a lot of jumping and you're not using speed as much. So I would... Okay, I'm gonna pause this so I can talk. So, I would be on speed more. You have a Reinhardt, and Reinhardt's speed is great. He can swing easier, get to people closer. So try to use speed a little bit more. You also have, you have more healing, so you don't need to be on heals that often. But your amp was good when your people got to crit. So, speed more, and then here I wrote something down. Okay, so on maps like this, I like to wall ride along like this left part and also the right hand. You can do a little bit more wall riding. You don't need constantly jumping as Lucio. I'm not a huge fan of Floor Lucio. So I would definitely try to practice wall riding. And also when you do that, you practice how to shoot, because when you wall ride, shooting is a little bit more difficult. So practice that. But also wall riding will make you a more difficult target. So, you know, just clinging on and off walls around point, shooting the Genji, booping the Genji so you don't die to him. And one thing you can do with wall riding is try not to stick so much to the walls. So by that I mean, when you wall ride, you can hold down and you're basically stuck to that wall, but you can also press your jump key, right? You wall ride, keep pressing jump, and you will go super fast than if you were to just hold, if that makes sense. I'll probably add some clips to show you. So, okay. I can hear a Genji. In this case, I would try to turn around and help whoever the Genji's on. If you can hear that, peel for whoever the Genji's on, because I think your Ganhawk can handle Ramatra. So just be more wary of that. Here as well, the Ramatra died, so you should always be looking to save your boop for a res. Always. And yeah, I don't think beat is a horrible ult to use against Ramatra if you can kill him. But I think you were just down in players. But yeah, so you see that their comp is Ramatra Genji. Or Ramatra Genji. Using beat against either Ramatra or Blade, I would say, is the best bet. You can also sometimes use it against Kiriko. Okay, and also on this point, usually people hold more up on this like high ground where you are right now. I don't see many people hold point. I think it's just a rank difference thing. Holding high ground is very good. See, like, this is kind of what I mean wall riding to stay alive, but not necessarily going all the way around in circles, but just like I'll add examples, but just kind of going on and off it with your jump. And here, you'd want to be on speed, you know, so your team can chase those kills. This poke is good. I would just play a bit further back Okay, and specifically here, I noticed your Genji was blading and he was kind of alone. You don't need to send 3-4 people on a Fair Mercy. I think they weren't doing that much, so I would have just pause. I would have, you know, tried to help your Genji there. This is great spam as well. This angle's pretty good to just shoot down that choke. And especially with Lucio, you can look for boops off the people so that they go off high ground. It's hard to boop tanks though. Here you can also kind of wall ride along the top pillars and look for boops off high ground. As Lucio, I would recommend, or you should, constantly look for any poke. So doing damage, you know, you're farming ult way quicker, and you're just helping do damage, and it's very good. Lucio can do damage, especially if you hit headshots. So try to look for damage a bit more. You don't need to constantly wall ride, but just like look to aim down chokes, shoot, and be in like a safe spot, most importantly. That's just kind of unlucky. Normally a good retake on this map would be to push off high ground instead of under, but it's not always a bad thing to go under. It can sometimes work. I just see more people finding success with going high ground. Yeah, tanks are hard to boot. Okay, so you're coming close to beat. Against their comp, it's good to use beat against Orisa ult. Engage beats can work. However, you were down one. But once you engage with it, you really do need to find a fast pick. Like, you need to go really fast before the shields run out. The overhealth. But I do like using beat against Orisa because she can't one-shot you before you cast your beat. Okay, so what I will say is that I would be a little bit careful in using amp too early. You can kind of wait a little bit until your team is starting to walk out and then use it. But they didn't really get much value with the amp when they walked out. They didn't go quick enough for it to, you know, be or have too much value. That's kind of unlucky. So one thing I already noticed is that you're focusing heals on your Orisa like really hard when she's basically full HP as Kiriko. In my opinion, it's really strong to just like do damage down chokes. You are obviously with the Mercy Pharah combo, so your Mercy's gonna be with your Pharah, so that leaves you to pocketing your Cass and Orisa. But when they're not taking damage, you can do so much damage with your Kiriko, like 120 headshot, 40 body shot. It can be super helpful. And yeah, I would recommend trying to do that more. Aiming with Kiriko, I would say, is like, you can't really flick a lot of times. I find myself kind of just like, I don't know how to explain it, like Valorant, I don't know. Playing Valorant. You're close to rush as well. This is all you want to use, you know, like early, exactly, right there. That's a great time to use it. Again, I would still try to, you know, put out some damage. I think you're focusing a bit too much on healing and tunnel visioning that a bit, which is not, it's not a horrible thing. Like healing, you farm ult really quickly, but you can do so much if you're good at damaging with Kiriko. Like you can get some nasty kills. Another thing I will say is that I think you play a little bit too close to your teammates, so it's kind of hard for you to see everyone as you're not like looking around too much. So when I play support, I have high sense, so I can easily like look around to use low. So I would recommend either try to be more aware of your surroundings, like looking around, like doing not like 360s, but just seeing what's going on, seeing your DPS, your sports. And it'll really help out a lot, especially on those like unexpected deaths when you probably could have helped someone. So I would say that. And then just Kiriko E, it's like a, it's a fast reaction type thing. It's kind of hard like to really teach that. I guess it just comes with like practice and getting better, but also, you don't need to look down. I would say if you get low, don't look down. Only look down when you have your Suzu. If you don't have your Suzu, there's still potential in you living and helping and healing and doing damage if you don't look down. A little thing that can maybe help. Like right here, spamming damage down that like choke is really strong. And so I heard the Pharah behind you. I would just look for her. Like if you hear someone behind you, look for them. If you can't hear them, maybe it's got something to do with your sound settings, but like there was the Genji on the 2 maps before, and then Pharah this round, just try to look a lot. And also, if you hear someone on your team ulting, try to help them as much as you can. If you hear Cass ult, sometimes you gotta save that Suzu for him. Good Suzu. See, like, look at that damage. Like, this is good. Doing damage is strong. Okay, and that was it for the first one. I hope that helped. Some Lucio and Kiriko gameplay. Now, let's go to the next. Alright, so now we have some Mercy gameplay, which I'm extremely excited for. Fluffy guessed one. Okay, Mercy is great on circuit, especially because you have a Sojourn, so definitely just pocket Sojourn in these comps, damage boost on Sojourn as much as possible. Like even right here, you can see that she has rail, and usually Kiriko can take care of the rest of your team, so I would already say that just damage boost a bit more. And also, doing these little super jumps is kind of unsafe because they are all right there and they do have a hit scan. So I would just be a little bit careful, especially if they do have rail, because doing these little super jumps can get you killed. Especially in higher ranks when people do have really good aim. But yeah. See, with that damage boost, that Tracer died. It's really good on Sojourn. She farms her rail a lot quicker with damage boosts, and her rail one-shots crit on squishies, so it's really good. Another thing I like to say is that Kiriko is so strong, so if you are a second support to Kiriko, honestly, letting her do most of the healing is super good because that ult is really good. Like, even on Dallas Fuel, the Lucio player would purposely not heal, so Kiriko would farm ult fast. I would say good that you didn't res those. I would say it's pretty unsafe. And also try to play a little bit more behind. Something I like to do when I notice I'm too ahead is do that little guardian angel backup. I might show a clip. I'm not too great at explaining, but you can guardian angel to someone and then back up, and it's like really good movement tech. Like, for example, I would probably do it here. But you guys are super close to each other, so it's hard for you even to get the Guardian Angel off. So I would suggest playing a bit more split from your team and still just trying to pocket your Sojourn. Good cap. Okay, so Valk is an ult I like to use to engage. So anytime you're in a fight like this and it's starting, you could honestly pop it like right now. Close. That hog was looking. When I'm in Velk and I hear a Sojourn ult go off, my first instinct is to, buzz in this guy like a dang mosquito. Like make yourself hard to hit. Maybe even go behind something, because you can definitely die in Velk still. You're not immortal. As Mercy, your main goal is to survive. Your Kiriko is doing a really good job at keeping you up. I think you can do backwards J though a lot more. It's a really good tech. And usually, okay, so if the Tracer or Genji's on you, what you don't want to do, or what will make you an easy target to kill, is going straight up. However, if you're going forwards or even backwards GA, which is harder for some DPS to predict, you'll be harder to hit. The backwards GA is when you hit S. This point is actually like annoying to take if they have a really good hold. See, there, that's a backwards J. I honestly use it a whole lot, and I think it's really good. You can probably get that res off. And here, if you hear Sojourn ult, definitely damage booster. If you're going to at all. She's gonna have perma rail, and if she can one shot with it, that's even better. Did he Ajax? Oh, that's sad. I think you can definitely use Valk more in these situations, like maybe even like a minute ago, I would have popped it, like trying to, clean up kills. I think it's an ult that you charge fast, especially just by healing, and you can basically use it off cooldown or just when any fight starts, really. Even Valking to save yourself or like live, I think is good. You should also try to play corners a bit more. Being in the open against a Sojourn with rail is pretty scary. Like, it might not be the highest rank, but once you do climb, you will be against people who can hit those shots and will hit those shots. So trying to play more back behind walls, out of LOS. Like, I think you can position yourself like more further behind your team rather than like above them, if that makes sense. That's a good res. always be looking around too. Always. Don't only look at your teams. Like, make sure that you can see what's going on. As Mercy, she is an information gatherer, because you don't need to aim at like who you're shooting, or you just hold down on someone and heal them, damage them, whatever. So you can look wherever, and it's best to do that. To look at what's going on. That way you can like survive easy, you know, by seeing if, oh, do they have rail? Oh, does he have hook? Like, oh, where are they positioned, you know? If you can see where everyone is and where your team is, it will help you live. Like, for example, here I would hold more on the left, like right here is a good place to hold. Another reason it's good to play a little bit far away from your team is so that you can get max value out of your GA. And honestly, instead of doing these vertical jumps, I really think a backwards GA is much better, because you're gonna be harder to hit. I think hitting a Mercy who's doing like more vertical jumps like this is easier to hit than someone who's like going backwards, you know? Because you're not necessarily in the open, you're behind your team, and you're also GAing away. You can also do like sideways GAs and stuff too. Honestly, you could get away with this res. I would go for it. I'm risky. Like, here's a situation where if you really wanted to like Valk and res or go for that dumb res, you could. Maybe the Fair could have booped it. Good Valk. Damage boost that Sojourn. Since they're kind of pushing you out here, this is when I would play more around this area where you are right now. I would try to play around here. You just lost a bunch, so they pushed anyways, but that is the place I would like to play if they're on cart in that location, because they won't have as many sight lines. You don't want to be in sight lines too often as Mercy, especially against like Hog, Sojourn. They don't have Sojourn, but you see how doing the vertical jump, the Mei was able to hit you? Like, it's very risky. I honestly don't use it that much unless I'm trying to get on high ground. I think the directional GAs are really strong, and honestly way better than like old super jump for sure. Pocket and Bastion's pretty good too, honestly. Bastion is good damage. I still think Sojourn is the best pocket though, right now in her current state, until she gets nerfed. If your Doom touches that, yep, exactly. Good Valk. Kind of unlucky there. This is a situation where I would probably do the backwards GA and run for my dang life. You guys just need to reset. Okay. Maybe you guys can touch. Yes, staggering that though isn't the greatest. Your Doom shouldn't have went in. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it up with my thoughts. I think you should practice directional Guardian Angels and try to cut back on the vertical ones as much. I think they can still be good, but it will be harder to shoot a Mercy that isn't doing like that type of movement. Like you can go full demon mode with these backwards J's. Like I'm telling you, I've seen some crazy stuff, and it's really fun to do. Like you go, I feel like you go a lot more faster with the backwards. Maybe I'll add some clips just to show.
Greetings.
Yeah, that's try to damage boost a lot more. If you're one of those stat people, you can let me think. Okay, so I've had games with like 2k damage boosted per 10 from Sojourn. I think anything above 1k per 10 is good, is what you should aim for, or like 60 damage boost to 40 healing. With like any DPS that require pocket, I would say 60-40 is a good ratio. At least 50-50. So yeah. And then obviously playing more distance with your teammates is good, because that leaves you with more room to get value out of your GA. Like, cause how it's on a meter, the further you're away from someone, the further you'll go with your GA, and you don't want like that tiny little, you know, sometimes you need that distance. So yeah, those are the things I did notice. But yeah, awesome. I'm so glad. I love watching Mercy gameplay and helping. I was a one trick, so yeah, I played that hero a lot. But yeah, thank you for submitting. If you want to submit more, please do in the Warshu coaching channel. Alright, so now we have some more Lucio gameplay. This is the Scrim, which I'm very excited. I think Scrims... I've never watched Scrim VODs. So, for another team. But yeah, I'm excited. This is a really good position to hold as Lucio. You're looking to boop whoever comes high ground. Try to be a bit careful of the Sojourn damage. And yeah, I don't know if you fell on purpose, but always just perma hold this high ground. Honestly, Watchpoint is so busted for like holding high ground, and you can even wall ride against like the left wall on like the blue box right. Oh, I'm pointing right, like right. Not this blue box, but the other one. So it seems like your team is kind of backing up and letting them take space. I wouldn't want this happen. You should try to make a move, you know, push something, because now they only need like one fight to cap, rather if you would have made it like 2 fights, for example. Beating a Sojourner is good. Risky if you're in LOS, but otherwise it was fine. You guys won the fight. And I would just always like try to tell your team default holding high ground. Like booping people off high ground like Monkey, Sojourn, even a Genji so you can kill him is extremely good. I think you can be a bit more aggressive as well. Not only with like how you hold, but you know, with shooting them. You should constantly be looking to poke, do some damage. Lucio, he can be a little assassin, okay? Another thing is, so you're playing against a Ana Genji, so Nano Blade. Another thing you can do as a main support is make calls. So this is a scrim, so I know you're on a team, and one thing I know about playing main support on a team is that you can make a lot of play calls, or, you know, alt track. I hope you alt tracker. I mean, it's pretty basic. Now that you can see stats, I think that's made it a lot easier to alt track. So back to the point, you're against Ana Genji. One really good call is if you know they have Nano Blade, what you do is you call for your team to trade. So once they go in with Nano Blade, you don't peel the blade, okay? You literally go in and you go in their backline and you kill and trade as many as you can For example, you go on the Honor, or you go on the Mercy, or the Sojourn. You just go and kill someone so that you can try and trade for their Nano Blade. Unless you can't kill the Genji, but otherwise you just want to go in and trade. Stealing a Nano Blade is kind of difficult. This is good though, you're booping. Let's say definitely try to do more damage. This is smart gameplay, but you can definitely you know, you can definitely amp it up. No pun intended. And yeah, they have a blade. They don't have nano yet, so having beat for that. You can beat a nano blade as well, but he can't kill you through it, so you just gotta be careful. Here, like, you can spam up that Ana, for example, for if you're trying to do damage, like shoot the Ana, shoot the monkey. That's a good beat. Only worry is you did it from so high up. I would, you know, only be afraid of like getting Ajaxed. Their Ana seems pretty alone, so if you see an Ana like this, dive her, you know? Seems like the Mercy's not really killing that much. And also be careful here, playing that close into a Sojourn. Or LOSing a Sojourn. Really dangerous. Okay. Nice hold. Alright. So fighting from there is like okay if you're trying to poke, but usually you can just force them out from honestly jumping main. You have your monkey jump main. You can go from main as well. You can look for boots on them while running up the high ground. And your Kiriko, she can TP, she can heal. Pushing up there is kind of hard unless you're like full committing to it, because you also had no one on cart, so that's like almost a minute waste of no cart. Like that's good, but just no one is there. You don't have anyone to really back you up. It's pretty risky if you're going up high ground against 1v5. I would just try to spam them as much as you can. I hear the Sojourn on blue box. I think you can honestly go for a boop on her. Right there. Booping their DPS is a lot better, in my opinion, than booping like a Kiriko. Because Kiriko can TP. She is Suzu. Wall climb, like booping a Kiriko is usually useless. Here, okay, so your Tracer should be on cart. Usually that's how it'll work. Or Kiriko, she can heal from cart. And you'll be on high ground, kind of just helping your tank and looking for boops if you can. It's really good to boop people off high ground on this map. But holding spaceship is super strong. Getting that bridge. This retake is very difficult to do because you need to force them back, force them off high ground. Usually monkeys, your monkey is primal, so I could see him diving high ground as a good play, diving the spaceship, primaling them off, and you guys can push in while he's doing his thing and, you know, going with like a Sojourn ult. And one thing about main support too is that some players, the reason they're not shooting so much or like doing stuff, you know, is because they're talking, like making plans. You know, I press tab a lot to look at ults, all that type of stuff. So I'm not permanently doing something. I'm pressing tab as well a bunch. So I could see that being the case. Here, okay, I don't know if your monkey, did he dive high ground? But you... Okay, I don't... Wait, hold on. Need to back it up. A sojourn on high ground is an issue, and you should look to stop that as much as possible. Especially if you're pocketed, like, you're just gonna get blown up. You can even dive with your monkey. Have your sojourn, like, slide into. You can do, like, an aggressive play on them.
Don't worry, I'll be right behind
Okay, swap to Mercy, that's fine. Here, I would say go top right or top left. Just some high ground. I think going from under is a really hard angle. So, like, I wouldn't even res that because I just think it's not very good to go low ground. If you have high ground, you have a really good angle on spaceship that your sojourn can maybe get value off of shooting theirs. And also, always damage boost. Damage boost. Drill that in your head, perma. Damage boost. You should be pushing with him as well. He did kind of go in far and fell, I guess. So that's kind of unlucky. But you can, like, peek that a little bit more to get your beam on him. Or someone else. Again, I hope you guys go high ground. Okay, that's good following him. Honestly, I would pop Valkyrie. That's kind of unlucky. You could have hidden the staircase to live. You guys can definitely touch. Good. Yo, monkey almost has primal. And honestly, here, I would have your tracer touch. You almost died touching, so try to see if you can have your tracer do it because she can definitely survive. Yeah, you just want to blow up people who touch the cart, like that monkey, yeah. Yeah, one of the main things I'm noticing on Lucio is that you don't shoot as much. You kind of just look around and are on heal quite a bit. So abuse shooting more. And yeah, you can also engage with your team a lot more using like speed boost going on people. Like here, I would have went on speed and booked it on that Mercy, you know, just like that. Yeah, you can do that to a lot more people. Yes, okay. Speaking of the devil, like you can do that so much. Like you could have done that on defense, I think, quite a bit. Like when they're Ana or Monkey were kind of in bad positions. It's really good. Lucio does nasty damage. You're getting cart for free. This is fine. Good beat. Almost got popped. I would try to be a bit more careful beating against a Sojourn ult. It is good to beat her ult. However, if you get, you know, tapped for a bit of damage or she has damage boost, you are dead. So being behind a corner, you can beat and then still get people in your ult if you like swing that corner. I don't know the exact cast time or time on that, but I've used it a few times. beat out of LOS of 4 people, and then somehow you get all 4 in it. It's good. It's good. Anyways, though, thank you for submitting that scrim. I think a lot of it was like how you guys took fights or not taking the fights in the right spots. So like not holding space as strong as you should, or going like low ground on second point is pretty weak. You want to go high ground and have your monkey like jump top to force out their soldier, because then they're all backing up and then you guys walk in, have the space. But yeah, that was kind of a mix of like helping you on your team and more team stuff, and also for your mechanics. But yes, thank you so much.